Element here. Back in Canada. Back up north. The Great White North. Looking to connect with Sully tonight. Trying to connect with him. I have been trying to connect with him for a couple of days. We've not been able to get our schedules to connect. So hopefully we can chat tonight. It gives us an opportunity to share energy. And when two or more come together to share energy, the potential to create something more is always there. That's what's wonderful about having a building conversation with someone else that's also intentful about their energy and careful about how they will it. I love to have conversations that are progressive conversations that allow people to move forward. That's what I'm all about. Going forward. Hey, while I'm waiting, I've got one thing I do want to talk about. Not sure how long Sully will be. Hopefully he'll be here in a minute. But what's on my mind right now, something I'm thinking about, something I've been thinking about is this problem that we seem to be having as a collective group is blame. The blame game. You know, they did this, he did this, she did that, she didn't do that. That's why, oh, I got him. Sully!
Second, bro. Put this stuff away.
The bionic man. The bionic man. Got him. Here we go.
Yes, let's get this.
Okay. Right. We got
yes, how are you?
We got some mosquito energy in the house.
I'm a mosquito? What?
This guy is bright. He is bright. He's like a little firecracker doesn't do it. Okay? Firecracker doesn't do it. Sully,
Peace,
how are you doing,
brother,
man?
Peace. Good, I'm great. Call me in the middle of making some art with my brothers, you know, so yeah.
So you're writing creativity.
Yes, exactly. I was just drawing a rose. I guess which is a perfect time. Yeah, a perfect time, right? Perfect time for a video because the juice is already flowing, you know?
Creativity, that's using imagination, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you know, I really believe like we really need to learn how to utilize both sides of our brains, you know, the left and the right. Like I'm very logical, yes, but I also have that ability to be creative, you know, balance the feminine and the masculine.
That's what we got to do, isn't it, Sully?
It really is. And that's the secret, you know, that's the secret of wholeness, becoming one. And you study the Hermetic principles, so you understand the law of gender. Yes.
Yes, Sully. So well, what is the law of gender and the Hermetic principles and the balancing of energy have to do with any of this anyways? Like, what are you talking about, Sully?
Well, you know, ultimately, like the Egyptians, they knew that there were specific laws that were universal, you know, and they correlated these laws to be the 7 Hermetic principles. And, you know, there are ultimately 7 Hermetic principles. The first Hermetic principle would be the law of mentalism. And ultimately, I feel like this is
Now, don't get talking all in circles now, Sully. I asked you a question. Stay on topic.
I was answering the question. What are you saying?
I was talking to you about, you were talking about gender.
Oh.
You were talking about balancing forces. You talked about gender. You talked about the 7th Hermetic principle. And now you start talking about all of this other stuff. I'm not sure about Egyptians and all that. I'm not talking about any of that. I want you to tell me something about what you said there a second ago. You were talking about gender, and you were talking about balancing forces. What did you mean by that, Sully? You were talking about
I said balancing.
You were talking about your creative energy. You were making a rose.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
You were making a rose, and you said you wanted to balance the hemispheres of your brain.
Yes, of course.
You want to balance the masculine and feminine energies, you said?
Well, I don't want to. I have.
Pardon me?
I said I don't want to. I have.
You have to?
I have. I don't want to. Yes.
You have balanced those energies.
Yes, sir.
Now what it says in the Hermetic principles is that a Hermetic master,
Mm-hmm.
right? A Hermetic master, no one is outside of the law. Agreed, Sully?
Agreed. Most definitely.
Nobody in 3D dimensional reality is outside of the law. Agreed, Sully?
Agreed. It governs the whole universe, all of dimensions. I mean, although I do have to say that depending on the dimension you're on, or like because there's an infinite amount of universes out there, right? So it is true that certain universes have different laws. We do gotta put that in there, But yes, this dimension.
Keep it here, Sully. Keep it here, man. Keep it
Okay,
real.
yeah.
Keep it real. Okay. Hold on. Where were we there? You got me off track.
We're
in this
talking about
dimension,
gender.
the Hermetic master, Sully,
Mm-hmm.
can't escape the law, but he can use the upper forces against the lower forces. Agreed?
Agreed.
This is the law, isn't it, Sully?
It is.
Yes, sir.
And that's what it's all about. That's what alchemy is.
That's right, sir. That's the choice. That's
Yes, cause
the
and effect.
human ability. That's the choice. Intention. The human can master the forces, become a master of the forces, and can use the upper forces against the lower forces. This is the human choice, a potential of human nature.
Exactly. And I feel like, it's ultimately all about balancing the animalistic. Okay, let me give I guess an analogy I love using. So, I ultimately really feel like at this time and age, we in a sense have been disconnected from our lower and our higher selves. Like we have been made to, I guess you can kind of say, reside in the lower chakras, but like we are very physical and very dense, and a lot of us, we don't really have control of our physical body. Like a lot of us can't really fast, we can't really work out or things of this nature. It's like we have our body in a sense is like a pet that controls us, is in control of our life. But balancing the two energies, I feel like it's all about realizing that you are here in a sense to be of service to your higher self. Like, does that make sense? And balancing it out so then you do what you came here to do. You get what I'm saying?
This is exactly right, Sully. We come here, we all have come here to step into our greatest self, which would be our higher self. That is the awakening. That is the awakening of the soul. That is the spirit coming to awareness, full awareness, and out of the drunken stupor that most of us are living in. We're asleep. Humans are asleep.
Yes. It's set that way too. You gotta put that out there too. It's set that way. They make it so from the food that we consume. And it's crazy because I seen this post earlier. They were talking about well, ultimately they were just saying it's essentially the same thing, but now we're just paying for our death. Like, they were talking about the Holocaust. They're like, to a degree, it's kind of like the same thing, but now we're just paying for our death. And they were portraying like McDonald's and things of this nature, and I was like, yo, that's so true. But it's because we're so blind to what is going on, so we ourselves are like stepping into the trap. Like, we're giving them money to kill us, like, if you think about it.
But listen to what you're saying, Sully, because it sounds like what you're saying is that there may be some evil intent.
I mean, everything starts with intent, right? We're all using the same energy. Intention is behind it.
Intention is behind it, but it's all the same energy. But all of the energy here, Sully, is only one type of energy. There's only white light here.
Facts.
There's only one energy here.
But do you not agree that, hold on. I was going to say, but do you not agree that it takes two to make one? Like, for instance, feminine and masculine, we know that even though they might be.
So in the incarnate space, before we come into 3D reality, then we are with the one. We are with the all. We are united with the all.
Yes.
In origin, yes. In original state. But in 3D reality, here and now, keep it real, we are positive and negative, yin and yang, male and female energies in 3D. We are separate.
Yes, sir.
And we have to marry those two energies within the self.
Exactly.
To be reunited as one inside the self.
Facts. Yeah.
But we are not the source. We are in contact with the source. The source is the all, right? The all is one. The one is benevolent love. One light, white light only, brother, that creates
Facts.
all.
Yes, sir.
The white light creates two feminine and masculine energies that we marry inside of ourselves to become union and back to one, a battery, a human battery, an unlimited source of light and love, an expression of nothing but the one, an expression of nothing but love. So
yes, sir.
Everyone that is awakened is nothing but an expression of the original space, which is one light, one love. That is the one expression of the awakened soul. It cannot have evil intent because there is no evil. Right? Now, if somebody opens up a chain of McDonald's,
there's only neutrality. There's no evil, yes. It's very subjective.
Evilness. They're trying to make a buck. They're trying to make a buck just like I'm trying to make a buck, just like you're trying to make a buck. That's how everybody here is doing, trying to make a buck. There's no one to blame here. And as long as we play the blame game and we start doing, you know, my wife did it and she didn't do this enough and it's her fault and it's the reason why. As soon as I start saying it's somebody else's fault, I'm giving my power away. That's giving your power away. That there's something over top of you. There's nothing over top of you if you take back your power and reclaim who and what you are.
You know, I wanna jump in. That is such a beautiful point you made, you know, because I've been starting to understand that it's like, you're right, there is no good or bad, you know, like you can really literally do nothing wrong, you know.
Degrees.
Yeah,
perceptions,
because like,
situations,
it's all about,
circumstances.
Yes, it's all about the intention, you know, like it's literally about the intention. Like you can be doing something bad, you can be doing something that might be seen, that might look bad to another person, but the intent that's going on your head determines how that unfolds for you, you know. So yes, you are right. And that's ultimately what the 7 Hermetic principles and alchemy is all about, you know, taking back control of your life, realizing that you are the cause, you're not the effect.
Hermetic principle number 6. We live in a world of cause and effect. Very good, Sully. We live in a world of cause and effect. What does that mean?
Okay, so it's like ultimately it's karma, right? To put it in simple terms, if you do bad, you will receive bad. If you do good, you will receive good. But I also want to bring up the law of attraction, since we're talking about this.
Isn't
What
it,
what
isn't
is the
the law of attraction kind of close to
Yeah, it's not the same thing. Yeah, most
not the
definitely
same
not.
thing?
Yeah.
What's the law of
Well,
attraction more
it is it
really
is it
alike?
is
What law is the law of attraction really like?
well, I want to ask you, what is attraction? What does attraction mean? Opposites attract, right? Feminine, masculine, negative, positive. And ultimately I feel like this is kind of the lost knowledge that we kind of this is the missing piece, rather, I should say, when we talk about the law of attraction. Law of attraction. It's literally the law of attraction. It's not particularly like a doing, but more of a saying, if you get what I'm saying. And ultimately, the law of attraction just states that opposites attract. You know what I mean? So ultimately, what people tend to neglect is the fact that when you go out there and you're trying to attract something, you're always going to attract you're always going to attract the positive, because this is like, in a sense, the universe testing you to see if you want it. It's testing your resistance and things of this nature. And if you can stay in that negative energy for long enough, if you can persist, then the universe will see that you're persisting, and the law of attraction, opposites attract. So then through this negative energy you're in, you will attract the positive. Like, you get what I'm saying? But yes, yes, yes. I
Yeah,
guess.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. You're talking about human transmutation. You're talking about raising up the frequency, and you're free by sitting in the negative. You're going to attract the positive. It's like by sitting and doing the shadow work, by sitting in the discomfort or sitting in the cold water, you can actually learn how to rise above it and love it and embrace it, or be
Exactly.
in something that's uncomfortable and say, hey, you know what? It's not that bad. And once you look at that fear and you've stood up to that fear and you've put yourself out there, made yourself vulnerable, and I'm gonna love this person anyways, and you make yourself vulnerable, that's when the magic can really happen. That you can raise up the frequency of anything that you want or you wish, because the spirit energy that's within us is of an infinite frequency and vibration. And when we
Facts.
step into imagination, when we step into goals, dreams, aspirations, when we talk about things that we love, that picks up our energy. It's in the loving space. We are beings of love. We're beings of love. So when we've got love that's coming from the back of the cosmos, it's inside of us when we set ourselves up right. It's inside of us, this light.
Facts.
And we gotta just push it out. And whatever we push out is what's coming back.
Yes.
Right? So whatever frequency of light we put out, white, we get white back. If we put out brown, we get brown back. If we are perceiving brown, it's a perception problem. The light is constant white. The perception is in the being's mind that's perceiving what's going on as darkness. But if you sit in that darkness for a moment and really face it, you'll realize that it has no power or control over you, and that will free you of that shadow. You'll release it, but you got to sit in that discomfort in the rain for a little bit.
Yes, facts. I mean, I actually love to sit in the rain, so it's not even a good analogy. I
Sitting
mean,
in the
unless it's
rain is
cold.
good for us, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, unless it's cold outside. Like, I mean, even if it's cold outside, you should really try to push your limits, because we're really unstoppable. The only thing limiting you is your mind, your belief system. Those are the only limitations set out there for you.
The
But
universe is mental. The only thing limiting you is
exactly,
your mind.
reverse
This is
principle. But
mentalism. This is
yeah, but I really
mentalism.
feel like we can tie what we were just talking about with the negative and the positive sitting in the negative to receive what it is you want, in a sense, to, you know, the law of gender and the law of gender, yes, feminine and masculine, because feminine energy is correlated with the darkness, you know, it's correlated with the black, it's correlated with, like, because ultimately, if you think about it, it's from the depths of the oceans, like the bottom where life truly comes from, you know, but it's deeper than that. There's other reasons as well as to why feminine corresponds with the dark. But yes, it's like the feminine is the darkness, and then the light, is the masculine, you know. And this is most definitely what we're doing. When we're sitting in the darkness, we are, in a sense, to a degree, bringing our light to the darkness, and therefore we are creating creation, you know, like, because feminine and masculine manifest creation, if you get what I'm saying. So yes, most definitely. But I just wanted to tie that in there real quick because I seen an opportunity.
Yeah, man, that's right. That's right. We're bringing our light into the darkness, and with the light, we raise up the darkness and raise up the shadow, perk up the frequency of it, because we're bringing our most highly intense frequency to the darkness. And that's how we raise it up. We transmute it. We lift it up. We choose it to come up by meeting it with love, by meeting it with our light, by embracing it, by sitting in it and going, all right, I'm sitting with you tonight. This is what it is. Or I'm going to get under the blankets. This one's a bad one. I'm going to sit under the blankets and just huddle up, cold, and, you know, it's coming out. Sometimes we got to move through these shadow emotions. And I think maybe as we get older, these shadow emotions, they get more deeply entrenched into, like, our organs, into our muscular system, into our bones.
Yes.
And they cause sickness, illness, and disease when
they manifest a life of their own.
Right? And this all of this can be freed from the body and released from the body. And it just takes for the being to sit with it in emptiness and sit with it, because it comes out in the emptiness.
Yes, like
when we're unfooding, when you're fasting.
Yeah. That too, exactly. Fasting. But I was gonna say, like, have you ever just sat in your pain, like just sat there without judgment? You know, in that process, you realize that pain is an illusion, and that's a crazy experience, you know. But mind over matter,
and that's
right?
freeing, right? Because then when you face the pain and you go, you know what, here it is. This is what happened to me. This is what happened. This is the truth. And I just sit with that truth, and you just feel it. You go, oh, it's scary. Oh, yeah,
no,
it isn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's actually, maybe I'm just doing that in my head. It's actually, oh well. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of the human separation is just an illusion.
Separation is an illusion.
It's an illusion. The all is in all. Everything arises from the all.
Yes.
The all is in the earthworm. The earthworm is in the all.
The earthworm is not the all.
The earthworm is not the all.
But the all is within the worm.
But the earthworm, the all is within the earthworm.
Oh.
Right?
Thanks.
Different planes, the physical plane, the mental plane, the spiritual plane. So the human being,
all one and the same to a degree.
They're all different only in degree.
Yeah.
Exactly the same, different only in degree. Different frequencies, different vibrations. The highest plane is this plane of spirituality, of highest frequency and vibration, greatest health and joy. Raise up your energy being. Lift up your energy with movement, with breath, with thought, word, intention, and meditation. Lift up your being, lift up your being. Empty the being, allow yourself to lift in energy. When you've got that food, you're blocking your energy. And you've got a limited belief in your mind that says you need something. It's a limited belief. You can live with it if you choose, but it's a vibrational footprint in which you're interacting with this world with. And if you interact with this world with a lower frequency or a lower vibrational footprint, you will achieve and realize similarly a lower frequency, lower vibrational response from your world.
Correspondence. The second law.
The second law, the second hermetic principle, correspondence. The planes, there's 7 levels in each plane and 7 sub-levels inside of there. But again, it all follows rules, it all follows laws, and it's all governed by frequency and vibration. And if you raise up the frequency and vibration, you can move from one pole of dense physical material to the highest pole of pure frequency or contact again with the all of highest frequency. All different levels of frequency and vibration, from the rock or the lead, you can alchemically raise up the energy and become gold. You can return to the white light. You can find heaven here on earth.
Facts.
You can be immortal. It's as far as you can go, as long as your mind can go there and you can hold that intention. But can you? When everyone around you is stuck in a certain space and it's always pulling you down, saying that you've got your head in the clouds and you don't know what you're talking about. What you really need to do is this and this and this and this and this.
Yes, I really feel like, yes, you are most definitely right with you know, being surrounded by low vibrational beings, in a sense you can say. But it's like, what I realized is once you know who you are, then another person truly can't tell you who you are. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, so you have to rise above it. So that's there. Every single being is an opportunity for us to embrace ourselves. Or allow that being's opinion to penetrate us. They can say what they think, but I'm white light.
Transmute that shit.
I can transmute that shit.
Yeah.
Right? Or I can just not let that in.
Yes,
I can
exactly.
polarize myself to the other pole. Physical on one end, spiritual on the other. I can polarize myself to the spiritual end and say, it's okay. They know not what they do. That's okay. They can say what they think. That's what they know. That's their opinion.
Exactly. You also, you know, got to realize that's just that's simply a reflection of me that's going through what they need to go through. It's okay, but that's not me. Well, not me right now, but I guess it's like realizing that there's an aspect of you within them, but understanding that you guys are vibrating in different frequencies and vibration. But it's okay that they're in that vibration, because for whatever reason, their soul needs to experience that, you know, because it's ultimately illusion, right? What I realize is ultimately when we talk about separation as illusion, I feel like it's like separation is density, you know, but then unity is ascension back to source, and the only truth is source, to be honest. So it's like when we detach from source, then in a sense we're simply having an illusionary experience that to a degree allows us to experience the all, you know, because it's through us that source realizes itself. You get what I mean? It's to the ego that we can it's through the ego that we can realize, you know, that we can in a sense live this experience. Because yes, people talk about killing the ego, but what they don't realize is there's 2 forms of egos. You know, there's like, I guess, the little ego and the big ego, but ultimately the big ego can be considered an alter ego.
Now, you see, I don't get into that ego jargon because of this. I'll tell you why. The ego jargon is all, you know, from Freud further forward. And if you think about that science stuff from Freud, I think it's about 150 years old. I don't think it's 250 years old. But if you look at the Hermetic principle there, that's 35,000 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wouldn't look at this modern day stuff. I would look at the stuff that stood the test of time of 35,000 years, and I would say that
yes,
it divides it into three planes. The true original teaching is there is a physical nature, there is a mental nature, and there is a spiritual nature. Don't divide the mental into ego, a dep, a dick, a da, super ego, a dap, a dick, a da. Don't even bother. You don't have to do that. That's not what the true teaching is.
mm-hmm.
That's the human mind going in its own little creative butterfly like it does. Having an opinion and sharing it. And we're taking it as law. There's an ego. Where's the ego? Where's the ego? We got to kill it. It's no good. It's good. You know what? It's no good. It's no good. It's good. Do I need it? Do I not? That's all thought. All thought is in mind. As long as you remain in mind, you can't be. The being is not in the mind. We are physical, mental, and being, spiritual, emotional, the will.
And that's what creates
These are separate things. These are separate things. The spirit doesn't talk. The mind does. If you're thinking something, you're thinking it in words. If you in your words, you know you're not there.
Yeah, okay.
You got to get out of mind.
Okay, then, so what would you say? Okay, cool. So then what would you say discerns your unique expression and my unique expression?
Now, there's probably like two answers to that question, because bear in mind the true teaching is that every truth is only half truth.
Mm-hmm. Polarity.
Right? All knowledge is only half knowledge, right?
Yeah, that's the law of polarity, right? Which is like the fifth.
Right. So there's two truths, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bear in mind. So there's absolute truth, like the truth of the all, and there is the truth of the being, which is finite truth, the truth of the human.
Mm-hmm. Yes, true.
So there's two truths. Now, please repeat the question.
Yeah, okay. So wait, before I repeat the question, I also do want to mention, the law of correspondence, which ultimately states that all things correspond. So yes, to a degree, you're right. Like there is a finite and an infinite perception of this, but to a degree, they kind of still reflect one another. But my question was, yes, I guess we'll just destroy the ego, right? That doesn't exist. So then my question is, what separates my unique expression from your unique expression?
Right. So all of our experiences does, right? So if I've had a lifetime of experiences that were filled with, say, trauma. Have you had some trauma in your life, Sully?
We all have, to a degree.
Yeah.
But that's what makes us human.
Yeah. So have you had some traumas in your life?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So those traumas left thoughts and emotions in your body. Ideas and emotions in your body, trauma in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes,
as a result, we navigate away from pain. This is just the nature of the human. We always tend towards comfort and away from discomfort. It's just the way that we are. And because of that, that's how we were programmed, because we're so predictable.
Survival is our priority.
And comfort.
Mm-hmm. Which comes with survival.
The most comfortable is what we want. We always move to be more comfortable. So we always tend to comfortability, and that's the problem. Because of that, we were able to be addicted to all of the things that we're addicted to, and we never come out because we never move to the discomfort side. We never see the discomfort side. So we're always polarized to one plane. And we don't even acknowledge this entire power in our life. To which degree that we do that is what separates and makes us different beings. So to the degree that I'm separated from the other pole, because I pull away in comfort, the more I weaken me, the more I lower my frequency and vibration. That creates my circumstances, which produce the negative things in my life. And that creates a different experience, a different life experience than if I unite the forces as one. And I accept the things that are discomfort or uncomfortable. I bring them to union. I sit in the cold. I marry the two forces, the masculine and the feminine. They're not bad. The master of hermetics can use the higher force against the lower force. Now, bear in mind, gender is the highest force. Marrying the two forces of masculine and feminine within the being overrides all forces. It is the union. It is the enlightenment. Right? It is the union of the yin and yang within the being. It overrides all forces. It is the highest teaching. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Kabbalah.
I've dabbled into it, but...
Good. Dabble in it. Because the Kabbalah is all about the seventh Hermetic principle. But it's only about the seventh Hermetic principle. So it's a wonderful way to develop a more deeper understanding of gender in the original teachings. A deeper teaching. But when you do study that and learn that and deeply more understand the masculine and the feminine and its purpose in our lives and connect with that more deeply, the more you'll even appreciate the seven Hermetic principles, because you recognize that everything was in that teaching 35,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Everything was given to the human. The human has everything, but has been misled by misperception and the fact that we were highly predictable, that people were able to take advantage of us. And it's not anything evil. They just want to make money. And so do I, and so do you. So they're not any more evil than you are, I am. So no one is to blame. It's the human condition. We chose to incarnate here to experience it. Don't get mad.
Just ask why. What your perception on why is.
Why is what?
I said what your perception on why we came here is. Like, what is Earth? Why are we here? What's the point?
Why we came here? I mean, we can simply say we are here to experience the self and to take forward humanity, to take forward in 3D reality consciousness in 3D reality, to lift forward, to take forward 3D consciousness, express love and light.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Just
Yeah.
to the Kabbalah teaches, it is about creating a creature and bringing that creature to impossible delight. This is the highest teaching that I have seen on this question that you have asked. The purpose of life is to create a creature, to create something that you love,
Mm-hmm.
and bring it your impossible light.
Yeah.
Bring it to impossible delight. Be creative. Create and bring what your creation is, your business, your dream, your relationship, your life. Bring it to impossible delight. What is impossible delight? What is the human impossible delight? You know what it is? It's realizing that we are of the light, that we are the light, that we have the power of choice within us to be with the light all of the time. That is the impossible delight. That is the enlightenment, finding the light in and out. Could you imagine, Sully, that every single breath that you take is a loving interaction? It's a giving and a receiving. It's two. It's you taking the gift of oxygen and giving your gift of CO2 to your universe.
Yes, sir.
Each breath is a moment where you hold a certain intention in your mind, one of fear, anger, frustration, joy, or love. Whatever your intent is in each and every breath, that is how you interact with your life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is your footprint. That is what gives you what you get. You are the conscious or unconscious creator. We all are the conscious and unconscious creator in each breath. What our intention is what we will get.
Yes, exactly. You know.
Sully,
Yes,
I gotta
sir.
run, but listen, I know you're doing some things, man. I know you're making some moves.
Yes, sir.
What are you doing, Sully? Tell me what you're doing.
So, you know, lately I've been just spreading all of this wisdom that, you know, I guess have within me, you know, because I just know so much and I see so much, I guess you can say. And it's ultimately, I feel like it all started with trust of self, because, you know, on this journey, the spiritual journey, what I realized was like, yes, even in this light, even in this like these light workers, like spirituality and things of this nature, you know, like to a degree, a lot of people are like blinded by the light, I guess you can kind of say. And there have been like a mixing of some truth and some lies, you know. And I really feel like what I had to do was, I can't really rely on anyone out there, even though I understand that everyone out there is to a degree me, you know. So what I did was I went within, you know what I mean? And by me going within, I just started realizing so many things and so many doors, I guess.
We have to learn how to go within, don't we, Sully?
Yeah.
We have to learn how to go within. We have to learn how to be still, be quiet, meditate. And this is really done really best by following the breath, focusing on the breath, being with the breath, being quiet, being empty, fasting. This is where this is when this happens. Yoga.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Right?
No, but
just being conscious. You can exercise and be conscious, but not if you're only conscious of counting repetitions and lifting heavy weights or accomplishing a certain goal. Because that's not what it is. Moment. It's not that.
Feel every movement. Yeah, exactly.
It's about raising the energy of the being. And that's done with exercise and nutrition and a change of mind, thought, and word, and a practice of meditation.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because I have a YouTube channel, you know, and I recently just did this video on the reptilians, and I was explaining like their past and, you know, what they're known for and things of that nature. And in the comment section, I just read this comment today. This girl, this lady, she wrote a comment. She was like, "I'm not trying to offend you in any way, but do you use drugs to enhance your enhance or like expand your mind?" And you know, I was just like, whoa, like that was a huge compliment because I don't, but like, you know, you know, but yeah, but I ultimately replied to her. I was like, no, I just, you know, I meditate, I do yoga, I exercise, and I do breath work, you know, and I really feel like that's it. Like this is why my mind, I guess, is so expanded. And I really feel like breath work, you know, a lot of us don't know it, understand it rather, I should say, but it's very crucial. It's very important, you know, breath work, breathing, because it can help. It helps cleanse your physical body. It can help. It does so much, you know. Like I can't even just because it's a variety of things it does, you know. So I can't. I'm not gonna sit here and try to list it if you get what I'm saying.
Sully, you know what? You know what I think is also really fascinating about you? Sully,
What's that, sir?
first of all, where are you, Sully? Where do you live?
Arizona, Phoenix.
Phoenix, Arizona,
Phoenix.
right?
Came
And
from Africa though.
you're from Africa.
Yeah.
But how old are you?
18. Yeah. So
And
you know, to me,
and I'm
it's
48, Sully.
48. Oh, that's amazing. 48. So that, you know, it's cool. It's like four plus eight ultimately simplifies to three, you know, and then me, 1 plus 8 is ultimately 9, you know. So to the degree we're kind of on the same like bandwidth, if you get what I'm saying, or like frequency wave, because
Really?
369, well, because it's like, you know, 369, they're kind of
I'm 47 right now, Sully. I haven't turned 48 yet.
You're 47. So what, is that 2? Simplifies to 2. Yeah, but you know, that's numerology. That's something else.
Numerology.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Like for instance, I was born on 19.
I'm like 30 years older than you, man.
Yes, yeah. Right. Thank you. That brings me back to what I wanted to say earlier. You know, so
It's
to
crazy,
me,
brother.
it's like
You're talking about things at 18 that I'm talking about at 48. Get that? Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Took me a lifetime to talk about this, and you're talking about it. How?
Because I'm living it.
It has nothing to do with age or who you are or anything like that. It's not about age. It's about a change of mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a practice. Like you told me about Hermetic principles, and then I started practicing Hermetic principles, and then I started connecting what I was doing, but I didn't know Hermetic principles.
Mm-hmm.
So Hermetic principles is just something you can learn to help you navigate through life. At whatever age you are, it doesn't matter what age you are, you can begin to navigate your life better, become a master of your life. We're all athletes. We're all trying to be the best we can be in our own life.
Yeah.
We're just plugging into it and maximizing it. Now, what do you do for people, Sully? What do you do for people? Like, what's your...
So, you know, ultimately, I am like a psychic, like legit. Like before, I wouldn't really term myself that. Like I would say I'm an astrologer, but you know, I've been like just today, right? I seen that people are doing photo readings where like you look at a person's picture, you know, and you tell them things about themselves. I've never done this before, but I'm very confident within myself. You know, like I know I can. I guess it comes from the knowing, you know, the knowing that I can do it. Like I don't really need to apply. I don't think, bro, this is where limitations come, you know, because a lot of us think to do something you have to put hard work, you have to do this and this and that. But me, I feel like I can just do it, and I feel like that really does affect my reality. You know what I mean?
do it, Sully. You can do it. You
So,
can do it. It's just naturally in you. You're
exactly,
right. Right. But everyone in the world's going to tell you you're wrong. Don't worry. Just follow what's inside you, man. Don't worry. Don't go 30 years this way to come back and realize, holy shit, I could have clicked my heels together when I was 18.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm an astrologer. If if I'm to make it simple terms, I'm an astrologer or numerologist. I do the tarot readings, and I'm also a healer, you know. But at the moment, like where I am, I realize, you know, because it's like, yes, I find in your life where you realize it's like you are source, like you yourself have that ability to create, you know, and then now you kind of start creating your own thing, you know. Like sometimes I think like the Egyptians were able to create all these beautiful things. So what happened? Like, why did we just stop creating? If you get what I'm saying, you know. And I feel like that's kind of where I'm at. Like, for instance, I also practice magic, you know, and I don't even follow these other magicians or whatever. Like, I do my own thing, you know. I call it solely. I don't know, but like, I do my own thing. If you get what I'm saying, you know, because we really have that ability, like express yourself authentically, and that's what I really feel like spirituality is. Spirituality is one's ability to express themselves creatively, because we talk about how we are spiritual beings. So authentically, who are you? A spiritual being. You get what I'm saying?
It's, you know what, Sully, the thing about it is that you're trying to talk about something inside of you that there's no words for, and that's basically what goes on. Is that when you start awakening fully to your soul and your spirit energy, that you're connecting with something that has no words. There's just no words for the soul, for the spirit, and so we can't explain it, right? I just know. Trust me, I just know. But unfortunately, people, you know, as we've been taught to be, we want guarantees. We want certainty. We want explanations. We want scientific proof. I'm not doing it until I see it. I'm not believing it until I see it. Well, then you'll never, ever see it. And that's okay. That's your choice, right? You can't make somebody else see it. You can't explain it to them. You can just say, hey, listen, I don't think you should do that. Or I think you should do this. That's all you can say to someone. They still have to choose. They still have the choice. Each individual has the power. Each individual has the choice. And that choice is made again and again and again throughout their day, moment after moment after moment after moment after moment. And it's separated by breaths. And it's your intention that you're holding in each and every breath.
Yeah. And I was just going to add on, you know, that like as you do this moment by moment by moment, the law of cause and effect sets in. You know, what you do now is going to affect what you do then, so on and so forth, you know. So this is like, if you believe in karma, if you believe in you know, this law of cause and effect, it's like scientifically proven, I guess you can say, whatever. So then it's like you are kind of, I guess you can kind of say like lost or don't really know what you're talking about if you go on to say that reincarnation is not a real thing, because it's like cause and effect. So how is it that once you die, boom, like the cause and the effect, like it just ends, you know? Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, but see, a person would have to accept, first of all, that there are laws in our universe, and that's a choice that someone can choose to take or not. So that's the human choice, brother. It's all choice, man. You can't say one's right and the other one's wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I was just thinking
it's
about
their
that.
Experience. Like, if they want to experience pain, they can. If they want to accept disease or lack or limitation, they can. And that's not wrong. That's a choice.
Right. Yeah, I was just thinking about that, reflecting, you know, how I kind of just said, labeled something wrong when in actuality nothing is truly wrong, you know?
No, it's not wrong. Yeah. It's whatever they want to do.
Exactly.
If they want to make a change, they can reach out and get one, because I'm telling you, there's a way. There's a way. But the person has to want to do it.
Yeah.
They have to get.
If there's a will, there's a way. Yes, sir.
There's a power in every single one of us. We all have contact to the source.
The source wants to express itself through us, you know. So let it express itself. Create, do what you love, make music or whatever, you know, like just do or just be.
We just got to get out of the way, and we are the mind. We're the mind bit that's in the way. We just got to get out of the mind. You got to reprogram that mind, rejig that mind to make this whole thing work and align the being with the being, align the mind with the being. And we've got a merger of 3D and spirit being. We're a living spirit, or a perpetual self-perpetuating energetic source, a battery, a human battery when awakened. Unlimited energy from within. A requirement of nothing, really. Only a choice if you wish to intake something, but nothing is then required. It's all choice.
Yes. You know, you said something earlier that I think you were talking about joining of the lower and the higher energies to create enlightenment or something like this. And you know, this kind of made me think that like awakening truly happens in the heart center, you know, like in the heart chakra, which is like love and things of this nature. Because the heart chakra, it's balance and equilibrium, you know. And the thing that a lot of people don't, you know, a lot of us think that our brain actually developed, then our heart developed, but it was actually from the heart that the brain developed, you know. And now scientists are starting to realize that we actually have multiple brains within us. I mean, yes, like this brain is like the main brain, I guess you can say, but like the heart also has its own intelligence and, you know, things of this nature. Like, yeah, I really feel like it's in the unity of the all that we realize who we are. And this is what we call enlightenment, you know, awakening.
That first principle is a big one, right? That first principle is a big one, that idea that our physical reality, our 3D reality exists within the mind of the all.
Yeah. You know, I think before we end, I really feel like we should, in a sense, talk about the principles, like the Hermetic principles, not in depth, but just like some people understand what we're talking about.
Let's go for it, Sully.
Jumping. Okay, all right.
Please outline the 7 Hermetic principles.
So the first Hermetic principle, you know, and this in a sense is like to a degree kind of the foundation, I guess you can kind of say, to a degree. But like, so the first Hermetic principle is the principle of mentalism. The principle of mentalism ultimately just states that thoughts are things, and to a degree we're like living within our mind. And then, you know, the beautiful thing about the principles is they all bleed into one another, you know. Like also the principle of the first principle of mentalism, you know, it states that thoughts are things, that your external reality is simply just a thought, I guess you can say, or like a vibration or frequency, you know. And to a degree, with this understanding, you can realize that if you change your thoughts, then you can truly change your reality, you know. And this is, I guess, to a degree.
Well, you know what? To expand on that first principle, I think the most important aspect of the first principle is the teaching that, you know, in order for something to come into reality, first of all, it has to exist within the mind. You can't build a house unless you first conceptualize it, get an architect, build a plan, and then create it in 3D reality. It first is in the mind, then on the paper, and then into the 3D reality. So first in the mind. And so we cannot create anything in 3D reality without first putting it in the mind.
Exactly.
You can't imagine it. It can't happen. You've got to get the visual in your mind of what you want, or it's an impossibility. But even going further than that is, as above, so below. The law of correspondence, which is our second Hermetic principle, states that, you know, it's the same here in this plane as it is in the next. So if you talk about at the level of spirit, at the level of creation, the only way that their level of creation or the level of spirit could create 3D reality or create us would be if they thought us up in their mind. So we are in the mind of creation. Just like
the logos. Thought.
It's all thought. It's the thought of the creator that's creating us. It's our thought that creates our reality. The universe is mental. It's a mental universe.
Yes.
That's the first principle.
Yeah, you know, I also want to mention, you know, now since you understand this, I feel like you can, to a degree, I guess, use all of the principles for manifestation, but the first principle is like very powerful when we speak of manifestation. You know, like for instance, me, whenever I have a thought out here, I always like to project it into my, I guess, lower into my distance, you know, this realm. So either I draw whatever I'm thinking, or you know, like, or whatever, or visualize it. Like, because you know, I made this video on how to manifest using your chakras, the chakra system. So you know, the crown chakra corresponds with thought. Thought is of the purest light, the purest vibration. It's the highest vibration, you know. And then once you take thought and you bring it down to the third eye, this is visualization. This is when you can see and things of that nature, you know. But I'm not really gonna get into that because that's like a whole nother. I don't think we have time for that, you know. But yeah, so I have a video on my channel for that. Like, so if anybody is like interested in understanding what that is, you feel me? But
We'll
yes,
make sure that we get you all of your links to your channels and anything you'd like to share about your psychic readings, about your tarot card work, numerology, anything that you want to share, Sully. We'll make sure you just give me all the links, and I'll just attach it with this post. I'll make a post about this video and put it out
okay.
very, very soon. I'm really glad that we got a chance to talk tonight. Is there anything else you wanted to add, maybe about the Hermetic?
I thought we were doing the Hermetic principles.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I was saying we should wrap it up.
I think have you said number 2?
Yeah, the law of correspondence, and because I feel like they're all equally important, you know. So that's just why I want to talk about all of them as a whole.
What the teaching is, the master of Hermetic principles can use the upper forces against the lower forces. That is the teaching. So the higher we go, they're all laws. Mm-hmm. The law of higher can always supersede the law below. So the highest law can help you to, if you unite the top law, you can do them all. You can do it all.
Yes.
But you may not have an awareness of them all. So I would suggest the Kabbalah is a wonderful teaching. You can master your life with it, but it doesn't teach you the other 6 laws. And I don't think you are complete as a Kabbalist that can fly on top, because something will happen, will bring you down, and you will not be able to understand the lower forces. I think the Hermetic principles is the world's greatest teacher. I think it's the greatest teaching on the planet, from what I've seen, and I've looked at a lot of them.
Yeah, I get what you mean. You know, yes, and that's very true. Like, I feel you on that. Like, when I got to the Hermetic principle, I was like, I've been wasting my time, I guess you can say. But ultimately, I really feel like, you know, like, there's also another like great teacher or whatever you want to call it, and that's like the navigator that's within. You know what I mean? Because yes,
the internal navigator.
Exactly.
The internal navigator.
Yeah.
There's always 2, Sully. There's always 2.
Yeah. Then not to mention understanding your energetic body, energetic system, and then realizing what the Akashic records is, you know, and that's like a whole nother ball game, if you get what I mean. Like, I've dabbled you know, with that as well, like the Akashic records. Like, I've been there and everything, and I've, you know, just looked at some specific information, but you know, it's crazy to me that we have access to this place where everything that ever existed is, you know. But it's funny because everything, you can kind of perceive it as occurring in the moment, you know. Like, creation hasn't happened yet. Like, it's still a process. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, there's truly only like the moment, like only the now, and like time is not linear like we think, but it's vertical, you know. So
if you really study the Kabbalah, if you really start to look at that the law of gender, you'll begin to see that it really is boiled down to the moment, and that is the highest teaching. The moment is the highest teaching. So with the moment, you can polarize yourself completely to spirit, because spirit lives only in the moment. Great talking with you, Sully.
Yes, most definitely.
Real good times, man. Talk again soon, okay? Let's do this again shortly. 6 months tops, okay?
Hopefully.
Later, bro.
Yeah, thank you. It has been nice talking with you. I am Sully, and you are John the Pass. Everyone knows that.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, bro. Thank you for your time and everything.
Welcome,
peace.
bro.
Namaste.
Bye.